And we have up next extraordinary roundtable discussion, or fireside, I should say. We have a fireside summit coming up next with regards to the inheritance of tomorrow with Lynn Jattal and Jody Bundy Norgard. They're about to unpack something serious. We're so thankful to have each of you that are still with us after the heels of two powerful roundtable discussions. This is a very personal and a very almost emotional youth summit. And I feel like just now I found a better way to head into frontier intelligence for the extraordinary ladies that I just had the opportunity to join with and roundtable or gather as well. May our gather be well.
Hello, hello, and greetings. So, welcome to the first Fireside Chat of the GatherVerse Youth Summit. I am very, very excited. With me, I have the one and only Jody, who she's going to tell us who she is. But just a hint of who she is: she's an entrepreneur, she's an author, she's a leader. There's just so many titles to her, and I can't do the best justice to introduce her. So we will be talking about the inheritance of tomorrow, an ode to our youth. And shout out to the previous panels. Thank you for setting the pace up, and we're just climbing a little bit notch higher. So, Jody, welcome to the stage. We're very, very happy to have you here. Tell us who you are and why you are here.
Well, thanks for having me, and it's nice to meet you in person, Len. I'm Jody Bondi Norgard. I'm the founder of Dream Big Toy Company and the creator of Go Go Sports Girls, which is a line of sports dolls for girls, encouraging them to be healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally through sports and physical activity. I'm also the author of More Than a Doll: How Creating a Sports Doll turned into a fight to end gender stereotypes, which just launched in January. So those are my two titles. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, and I'm also an activist. And I worked with the Biden administration White House Gender Policy Council when it came to content and toys for children and media and content. So that is in a nutshell what I have done. And it's only been 20 years that I have been fighting for equality, but I do have a socially responsible product that I was an entrepreneur, but I also had social change in mind. And I quickly found out that I was not in the toy business, but I was in the business to create change.
Wonderful. So it's a very, very big honor to have you here. And of course, as a youth, I am the youth, and the youths that are watching out there, we look forward to learning more from you. And that is a very powerful way to kick off. I've heard your story, I have seen your bio, and one thing that stands out for me when it comes to you is your leadership. And this brings me to the first question. What key leadership lessons can the youth learn from you as a female entrepreneur and author? I tend to think that you're a disruptor being in the toy industry. And how can they break the barriers to pursue that kind of leadership?
Well, I had an aha moment, but it was many situations that built up to my aha moment. So to answer your question, it's if you see something that's not right, question it. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to challenge the status quo. If we don't challenge the status quo, we will never move forward and invent, the future.
Yes.
So if we stick with the status quo, we're just going on that track, and it's just, it's flat. And it's okay to, if things are working, it's okay. But if you see things that aren't working, it's okay to ask those questions. It's okay to challenge the status quo. And I have to, just point out too, it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to be wrong. I think a lot of times people don't like to ask questions. I think it's just human nature because you don't want to be wrong. You're in a situation where it's like you're putting yourself out there. But it may not be your question that leads to change. It may be, 10 questions down the road that you, figure out like how I'm going to do it 100 questions down the road.
Yeah, that resonates with me because personally, I'm a young person. I believe we're in a generation when it comes to my people my age. We are in a generation where we question the status quo. We do what we want to do, or we question what was the old system, like just someone who expressed earlier. Just tell us more about the role of persistence. Yes, we are questioning systems that have been there for years, and we want something new, we want something better. But just tell us more about the role of persistence. How do we bring in persistence and more values that can really play a role in building new systems and improving the humanity?
Yeah, but persistence is a quality that allows someone to do something that is difficult or opposed by others. So it's not easy, right? It's not easy at all. It comes with a lot of baggage. But I've always viewed persistence as I've moved along. I mean, there's a fine line of being persistent and annoying, and persistent and doing something that you're on the right track, right? It's just like I know this change needs to happen. For me, it's like simple in my mind. It's just fighting for equality. Like, why wouldn't everybody think equality is okay? If we saw the world equally through the eyes of, all genders, all races, we would just have greater balance throughout the world. But that is a challenge. So along with persistence, you have to be determined. And when it's fueled by passion, then it becomes a mission.
Yeah, I'm taking notes from that. There's something you mentioned that I can't help following up with that. What is the difference between persistence and annoyance? What is the line there?
What's the difference between persistence and what?
And being annoying.
Right. Okay, think about like a young kid, right? Yeah, they can be, I want a piece of candy, I want a piece of candy. I mean, that, there can be that, persistence that can be annoying, right? Like if you're, persistently talking about something and, you're not getting those social cues, like stop talking about it, right? I guess this persistence is, it's listening.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding the avenues that can take you to the next level. There are many times I had roadblocks in my journey, and I never saw them as, that I had to stop. It was just a detour. I needed to figure out, how do I get around those? Because I know I need to figure out the next step.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. I couldn't agree more. You also mentioned something with equality, and you have been talking about equality. It has always been on your radar. And I just want to just tell us what it looks like to be in an equal society. You are in the media industry, you are in the toy industry, and this is what you've been doing for years. What does true representation in toys and other industries look like, even for the next generation? Maybe you can make even a prediction for the next generation.
Right. So there isn't a country in the world that has true equality, and in fact, the World Economic Forum predicts that we're 136 years. It keeps going up, which is unfortunate to see true equality. So I see that there are many self-help classes for people as we get older, and I'm in the female space, so I will just say there are a lot of self-help classes for women. But there are also a lot of issues for young boys as they grow up. When my kids were younger, I saw that there was, the toys marketed to kids. It was, for girls around the age of 6, 7, and 8, it started to be with appearance and attractiveness. And then for the boys, it was more, they're geared towards violence and aggression. And that just didn't make sense to me because my daughter was super smart and I didn't want her to say, oh gosh, I have to all of a sudden just focus on my appearance. And my boys were not violent or aggressive, nor did I want to encourage that. So my point in my journey has been we need to look at the root of the problem. Where do these gender stereotypes, where do stereotypes start? Well, it's before the age of 5. Because at the age of 5, that's when those stereotypes set in. And unfortunately, girls by the age of 5 start believing that their gender can't do as much as the male gender, which is crazy business.
Yes, I believe that is very, very true. It starts at the age of 5. And I can even recall, for me, one of the stereotypes that I came across when I was a child, being in an African context, is there's some things girls can see it, girls see it this way, they don't see it that way, girls talk this way, they don't talk. You know, those kind of rules. And when you grow up with the mindset of don't do this, don't do that, because those are the stereotypes that were fed in your mind. So I really, really resonate with that. And this leads me to another question. You're an author, you said you've published your book, and congratulations for that. I'm looking forward to see it. What word do you have for youths out there who want to write something, who want to do something big, something unique, something that has not been done before, like what you're doing? What is your encouragement for them?
A couple things. When you're writing a book, just write it down. Seriously, I'm a good writer. I'm a good college paper writer, but I have a really great editor, and I had another editor with my agent and another editor with my publisher. And whenever a book gets out there, you have many people working on it. So it's not just you going into that and, cold turkey. It's just write down your ideas. There are so many stories out there that need to be told, and people are just afraid of writing down their thoughts. So again, like if you were to look at what I originally sent my editor, you'd be like, that's probably a good college paper. But what came out, through my editor was a really amazing book. So just write down your thoughts, and then if you have a great idea. I always keep a notebook by my bed. I write down things all the time. Some of my ideas are really good and some of them are really bad. So it's okay, right? Just jot them down, because some will be just that one that will be the right one for you to move forward.
Yes, very profound. Just a quick one as a follow-up of that, and then we close off. We have another roundtable coming up. Do you think we're going to have more AI writers, by the way, when it comes to writing? And how do you see that play, AI writing and others like you? How do you see that in the
Oh, that's really an interesting question right now, especially in publishing, because there's with Meta has taken a lot of books. There are a lot of lawsuits out there right now, and teaching AI, say, how to write like a famous writer. So it's teaching AI how to write, which in the publishing industry, they're trying to get a handle on this. So when it comes to say everyday writing, everyday email, I have found it amazing. Like it really can, put my words into, it saves me a lot of time, put it that way. It saves me a lot of time. So I kind of like to look at it like the calculator, right? Way back when the calculator was invented, a lot of people were like, do not do that. That's going to be, it's going to ruin everything. Well, it didn't. So I'm trying to embrace AI in that way, though there are many issues that are way above my pay grade, so that I can't talk about. But definitely, I find it when my everyday writing, it has really helped.
Yes, it helps everyone. I can attest to that. It's part of my writing as well. Well, Jody, we can go a distance, but we only have much time. It was such an honor to talk to you, and we look forward to have you back again at GatherVerse. Thank you so much for your insights, and for our audience, I encourage you kindly follow Jody, buy her book, follow what she does, and all will be well. So our fireside was well. Over to you, the GatherVerse studio. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Lynn.